Hey team, Craig Robbins here. I want to talk to you about something I think that can help all of your careers. And it's a very simple concept. It's the concept of focusing on things. As a matter of fact, we have a nice little saying. I like to call it WAYFO. What are you focusing on? So that's our focus for today. We're going to talk about it and talk about how you can use this to actually accelerate your career, get yourself going the direction you want, make sure other people around you are helping you get there. So we'll start with the presentation. So again, WAYFO in front of you is this concept of what are you focusing on? All right, so write that down. That should be in front of your desk, because what you're going to find out is throughout your day, you're going to have a lot of decisions and a lot of things are going to happen because you wake up in the morning and you start thinking. As a matter of fact, the average person thinks between 40 and 50,000 decisions a day. They basically think about things. They go through the thinking. And they make these decisions. They say, should I get up on the right side of the bed, the left side of the bed? You know, should I get up now? Should I get up later? Should I turn the alarm clock on? Should I brush my teeth? And what you'll find is the vast majority of your decisions are totally automatic. Like, you're not even thinking about it anymore. You've done it so often. When you're driving a car, most of those decisions, you're not thinking about, you know, do I put the gas on now, the brake on? You're not thinking about it. It's all automatic. So of the 50,000, 40,000 decisions a day, probably 90%, 85 to 90% are completely pre-programmed, and you're going to do them. You're going to use this kind of toothpaste, then you're use this exact toothbrush. Those decisions have been made. But there's 10,000 maybe, or 10% of your decisions, let's call it, you know, a good chunk, 5,000 to 10,000 decisions a day are going to be decisions that you get to have some influence on. All right, so we want to talk about what that influence is. The first thing you got to recognize is that all decisions are really a series of you thinking. And thinking requires two things. Thinking is basically you sitting down and thinking through two things. You're asking yourself questions and you're answering those questions. That's all thinking is a series of asking yourself questions and answering those questions. Think about that right now. Think about when you say, I got to really think about something. You're really sitting down, asking yourself questions and then answering those questions. But what you'll find is that your brain, it has this ability to just move forward and answer whatever questions you ask it. Your brain will automatically do that. So whatever you put in it, your brain's going to go out and answer it, and it's going to go full blast on that anyway. So imagining and choosing the actions based on your answers are what we're talking about here. You're going to be starting to think about the answers you generate, and that is going to affect your solutions. So it's going to affect your future. It's going to affect what you do. Whatever answers you come up with are going to affect what further questions you have. And I'll give you an example. If you don't feel like you're fit and you get in front of the mirror and you say to yourself, why am I so fat? What you're going to be doing, your brain, you're thinking, you've asked yourself a question, but here's the thing. Your brain is like a computer that just won't stop. It's Google search, and it will not stop till it comes up with an answer. And if you say, why am I not fit? Your brain will answer why you are not fit. You will focus on why you are not fit. Instead of WAYFO focusing on getting fit, you'll focus on why you're not fit. 99% of the answers you come up with when you ask yourself are generally negative responses about yourself on critical issues. How come I don't have enough money in the bank? How come at the end of the month I'm running out of cash? How come we can't afford that restaurant? How come I don't feel fit? How come I haven't attracted the people in my life I want? Whatever it is, in your body and your mind will start focusing on those answers, and that will choose your actions. It will change the way you operate. So you need to imagine and think through better questions for yourself. You've got to think through. So instead of saying, why am I not fit? You need to ask yourself, how can I become fit? Do you see how different that question is? How can I become fit? And if you go one step further, you can say, how can I become fit and enjoy it? That's even a better question, because your brain will sit there and start answering that question. So ask yourself the right questions. Ask yourself better questions. WAYFO is what I want you to focus on today. Is what I think you should be thinking about is better questions. Ask yourself better questions. As a matter of fact, if you're not sure about work and you wake up in the morning and you're like, gosh, I don't know about today, you need to actually have by your bed a little card, and it needs to have 5 powerful questions that you ask yourself. What am I going to do fun at work today? What am I going to learn today? What's going to be interesting today? What client am I going to connect with today? What people am I going to help take care of today? Whatever the questions are, come up with 5 powerful questions. Put them next to your bed. When you wake up in the morning, read those questions on. What will happen is your brain will just start thinking about it, won't be able to stop, and your job will be to create actions out of that, because you're basically directing how you're thinking. What are you focusing on is hugely valuable and something I think all of you could really use. So good luck with that this week. Let's see how you use the WAYFO in your life. If that serves you, I'd love to hear some feedback. Go for it.